Stop wasting headshots on laggy clicks. Here are 7 killer gaming mice under $100 that actually improve your aim, not just your RGB glow. From budget beasts to esports-grade precision, this lineup covers wired and wireless, lightweight and feature-packed, with real-world pros and a few hard truths. Stick around till number 1 for an 8000 Hz monster, and throughout for grip notes, weight, sensor behavior, and who each mouse suits best. 7. Redragon M612 Predator. The M612 is the value champ for macro lovers. 11 programmable buttons, on-the-fly DPI staging from 500 up to 8000 via software, and a grippy, rubberized side that feels planted during flicks and long tracking in FPS and MOBAs. In testing, mapping a rapid-fire and 2-thumb macros sped up looting and skill rotations without moving off WASD, which is rare at this price. RGB has 5 decent effects that sync fine with a basic setup, and the chassis favors a claw or hybrid claw-palm grip with a reassuring palm swell. Performance-wise, its optical sensor delivered stable tracking with no obvious spinouts at mid to high DPI, and the adjustable report rate ensured clicks registered promptly in tense spray transfers. The surface coating resists fingerprints better than expected for a budget shell, and the PTFE feed glides smoothly on cloth pads after a short break-in. Over multi-hour sessions, the ergonomic contour minimized hand fatigue, especially for medium to large hands that like a slightly taller back. The software is a surprise highlight, full rebinds across all buttons, DPI per axis tuning, and multiple profiles that stick after reboots. This made it easy to flip between a low DPI TAC shooter setup and a faster MOBA preset without drama. Macro recording is straightforward, and storing profiles reduced reliance on running software in the background. That said, weight and refinement hold it back. The M612 is not a lightweight, quick micro-adjustments feel a touch sluggish compared to sub-70G mice, and its scroll wheel tactility is serviceable, not premium. 6. Razer Cobra, wired. The Razer Cobra is a 58-gram right-handed symmetrical wired mouse that brings Razer's optical Gen 3 switches and chroma underglow into an affordable ultralight package. In-game, the clicks feel crisp and fast, with near-zero pre-travel, and the white body makes for snappy target switching and quick vertical adjustments on low-sense setups. The SpeedFlex cable glides well with minimal drag, so a bungee makes it feel almost wireless. Its 8500 DPI optical sensor tracks cleanly up to 300 IPS/35G, which is plenty for most players, and the PTFE feet glide consistently across cloth and hybrid pads. Shape-wise, it suits fingertip and claw grips best, especially for small to medium hands. The slightly lower hump encourages a relaxed hand with strong control on micro-corrections. The single onboard profile and 6 programmable buttons cover most competitive needs without clutter. However, the sensor tier and 1000 Hz polling cap show the cost savings compared to higher-end esports mice. For players chasing absolute minimal latency or extremely high-speed flicks, the 8.5K sensor and 1 kHz polling won't feel as locked in as flagship 26K, 20K sensors or 8 kHz polling. Also, the lighter build means the shell can sound a bit hollower on firm taps, and there's no weight tuning. The Gen 3 optical switches are a real advantage. Rated for 90 million clicks and immune to double-click debounce delays, they maintained a consistent actuation feel after hard use. The underglow RGB looks clean on dark mousepads and can be dialed down easily in Synapse with DPI stages in 50 DPI increments for fine sensitivity tuning. 5. Logitech G502 Hero. The Logitech remains a legend for a reason. A 25K Hero sensor with 100 to 25,600 DPI resolution, zero smoothing, acceleration, and rock-solid tracking at high IPS. It's the do-everything wired mouse, 11 programmable buttons, dual-mode hyper-fast scroll, onboard profiles, and tunable weights to dial balance and glide. For shooters, the sniper button is perfectly placed for temporary DPI drops. For productivity and MMOs, the tilt wheel and macros turn it into a workflow machine. In raw aim tests, the Hero sensor feels planted and predictable, with clean micro-tracking for headshots and no jitter at common EDPI ranges. The 121-gram base weight is heavier than modern esports trends, but the mass can stabilize hand movement for players who prefer deliberate tracking or use higher friction pads. The PTFE feet last long, and the shell build quality feels dense and premium. The dual-mode wheel is a joy. Ratchet for weapon switching or light room scrubbing. Free spin for scrolling long docks or inventories. Onboard memory lets you carry up to 5 profiles, which is ideal for LANs or shared rigs. The RGB is minimal and tasteful, keeping focus on function over flash. There are trade-offs. If your priority is speed and minimal inertia, the 502's weight is noticeable, and cable management becomes important to keep swipes smooth. The shape favors medium to large hands with a palm or claw grip. Very small hands may struggle to reach all side controls comfortably. Still, the versatility to price ratio is outstanding. 4. Razer Orochi V2. The Orochi V2 is the ultimate travel and compete hybrid, ultra-compact, wireless with both 2.4 GHz hyperspeed and Bluetooth, and powered by a single AA or AAA with excellent balance. Battery life is a headline, up to 425 hours on hyperspeed for gaming, and up to 950 hours on Bluetooth for work, meaning weeks of play before a swap. On a desk or on a laptop tray, it's the mouse that's always ready. Razer's 5G advanced optical sensor tracks responsively with 0 spinouts during fast swipes, and the second-gen mechanical switches deliver up to 60 million clicks with crisp tactility. The PTFE feet glide smoothly on most surfaces, and onboard memory preserves binds and DPI stages for a driver-light setup. 6 programmable buttons are enough for competitive play without crowding a small shell. Weight tuning via batteries is a neat trick. Running AAA lowers mass and keeps the center well balanced, which feels great for fingertip grips. Community tests place the AAA setup roughly in the mid-60-gram range, which is very manageable for precision without hand strain. The hybrid battery slot is positioned to maintain balance regardless of cell choice. There are inevitable compromises. The compact shape won't suit every hand. Large hands may prefer a claw grip to avoid cramping, and the shorter length changes leverage during long tracking. Also, while hyperspeed is low latency, it won't match 8 kHz wired polling for raw click-to-shot speed, and there's no built-in rechargeable battery. 3. Logitech G502X Wired. The G502X modernizes an icon. Lightforce hybrid optical mechanical switches for ultra-fast, reliable clicks. The Hero 25K sensor, reduced weight at about 89 grams, and a redesigned reversible/removable DPI shift button to fit different grips. It keeps what made the 502 great: hyper-fast/ratchet dual-mode wheel, ample programmable controls, while cutting fat for better agility. In play, the Lightforce primaries feel immediate with a crisp return, excellent for burst firing and rapid edit binds. The lighter shell drastically improves flick speed over the Hero version, and the refined feet glide cleanly across modern hybrid pads. Onboard profiles and 13 programmable controls give granular control for both games and creative apps. The Hero 25K remains class-leading for consistency and precision, with no smoothing or filtering across the range. The revised DPI shift paddle is a smart ergonomic change. Reversing or removing it prevents accidental presses and adapts to hand size. The thin-wall exoskeleton feels rigid despite weight savings, providing confidence during aggressive swipes. There's still heft compared to ultralight minimalist mice, and some players who crave an empty shell feeling may prefer sub-60 grams designs. But for a feature-rich mouse, 89 grams hits a sweet spot between control and speed. Especially if you rely on wheel modes and extra inputs. If you love the 502 workflow but want a faster, cleaner competitive feel, the G502X is the right evolution. Smarter buttons, lighter body, same elite sensor. 2. HyperX Pulsefire Haste 2. The Haste 2 focuses on competitive fundamentals, ultra-lightweight build, extremely fast and precise HyperX 26K sensor, and support for up to 8,000 Hz polling on supported variants, while keeping the shape versatile for fingertip or claw. Even with a solid shell, it's exceptionally light, making micro-adjustments effortless and reducing fatigue in extended grind sessions. Tracking is excellent, up to 26,000 dpi, with high IPS headroom, gives a confident, snappy response on low and mid EDPI. Clicks feel consistent with long switch life ratings, and glide is notably smooth thanks to low-friction skates. The cable on the wired model is flexible enough to mimic a wireless feel with a bungee, and the software allows straightforward DPI and macro setup. The wireless variant touts up to 100 hours of battery life, which is impressive if you want cable-free weekends and long LAN days without charging. Dual connectivity, 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth, adds versatility for laptops and multi-device workflows. Swapping to wired via USB-C during charge is seamless. Compared head-to-head, the Haste 2's sensor performance and weight make it a better pure aim tool than many feature-heavy rivals under $100. It's less about bells and whistles and more about that clean, locked-in feel that translates into higher consistency over time. For players prioritizing raw aim, lightness, and modern polling options, the Haste 2 is a near-ideal under $100 pick that feels tailor-made for tactical shooters and arena FPS. Razer Viper 8 kHz. The Viper 8 kHz is an absolute latency slayer, true 8,000 Hz polling with Razer's Focus Plus 20K sensor, second-gen optical switches, and a true ambidextrous shell for left and right-handed players. The 8 kHz polling rate dramatically reduces input delay and micro-stutter perception for PCs that can keep up, making click-to-shot and micro-corrections feel instantaneous. In testing, fast micro-adjustments during recoil control felt exceptionally smooth, and flick-to-target behavior maintained stable tracking at very high speeds. The SpeedFlex cable is supple enough that with a bungee, it vanishes underhand. The PTFE feet and low-friction shell finish create a glide that suits both cloth and hybrid surfaces. The Focus Plus sensor's 20K DPI spec is less about the number and more about its flawless tracking and high IPS acceleration ceiling, which the Viper leverages fully at 8 kHz. The second-gen optical switches prevent double-click issues and provide a sharp, reliable actuation across long sessions. With 8 programmable buttons and onboard stages, it adapts to most game roles without overcomplication. There are caveats. 8 kHz polling requires CPU headroom and a high refresh display to realize the benefit. On lower-end systems, the gain diminishes, and 2 kHz or 4 kHz may be a better balance. Also, macOS users don't get full software support, so Windows is the intended home. Even so, for competitive Windows play, it sets the pace for under $100 wired performance. Final thoughts. That's all for today, folks.